Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So they gave a title to this talk, which is make the switch, switching up the center of your life from material to spiritual. Such a switch is coming by great mercy. Brahmanda Brahmide Kona Bhagyavan Jiv Guru Krishna Prasad by Bhakti Lata Beach. It is said that life after life, one is roaming through the universe in so many births, so many lives. And then, in one life, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by His mercy, by Krishna's mercy, and by the mercy of Guru, are we coming in touch with this process of devotional service, and are getting, and then we are getting the Bhakti Lata Beach, the seed of the creeper of pure devotional service. So that is really how it begins. Not that one day we suddenly see the light, and I just realized it. This material world is just a place not fit for a gentleman. Yeah. And I happen to be one, therefore. Therefore, I suddenly woke up with this desire to get out of this world. No, that is not exactly the way it goes. Material life is sometimes described by using a group of letters from the Sanskrit alphabet, known as the Pa-varga, or those sounds that are produced with the lips. And those letters, and that is how the Sanskrit alphabet is made up. Letters are grouped as to how the sound is produced. So in this case, all the sounds that are produced by the lips, starting with Pa. Pa, there is Ba, there is Bha, there is Ma, and I forgot one, Fa. Fa, yeah, I've got Fa. There is Fa. So there is Pa, which stands for Parislam. It stands for hard work. So in this world, did you ever get anything for free? Anything, somehow or other, even if you get something for free, you have to pay back later in some other way. You become obliged. And once you are obliged, So, hard work in this world is involved with whatever we try to attain. That is the fundamental principle of this world. Fa means even to a point of foam on the mouth, like a horse has foam on the mouth from excessive effort. So great effort has to be made, excessive, even to a point where it's too much. So many people are feeling they work too much, too hard. It's too demanding on life in general. Then there is Ba, and Ba is described as Vyartata. From all that hard work, there is frustration. So much work, and still not satisfied. So hard you worked, whole life, but it didn't work. That's the material world. It says that one is always defeated in the material world. On the material plane, we're always defeated. Even if we are temporarily successful, then after a while still defeated. Prabhupada stood in Jagannath Puri in front of the ocean, and there are these lifesavers with a little white straw hat on, and nowadays they have car tires, inflated car tires, and take people into the ocean. And Prabhupada said, I also went into those waves together with a guard, and I was jumping in the waves. He said, but now, no, I will not do that. With time, things change. So here we are, for a moment on top of the world, and soon enough, it will be over. I still remember how one day I took a bite and swallowed, and then I realized I had swallowed my tooth. This is like the beginning of the end. A clear sign. Don't think it won't happen to you. Prabhupada said like that. So anyway, our point is clear. There is hard work, parishram, even to a point of excessive work, but then there's still frustration. And then, but there's also some success. There's also some success. And that little success, although it's not enough to fully satisfy the heart, still there is some success, and at least better a blind uncle than none, better something. So we become very attached to whatever we do get. And therefore we are fearful. Bhayam, fearful. Fearful. Because we're not in control, and we hope nothing's going to happen. But in case something happens, I've got insurance policies. It's like there's so many things, just to make sure. Fear, 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 endless fear. So many varieties of where this fear manifests. Because we're relying on our own strength. And then finally, there is the end, mrityu, death. So these are the elements of material existence, and no one can escape that. So yes, therefore, a certain amount of frustration is there in material life. And that can be a reason why we become a little bit more favorable towards spiritual life. That's possible. But ultimately, it is through mercy that we are coming to the point. Somehow or other, through mercy, we make a connection. Mercy of Krishna, mercy of the Vaishnavas. We make a connection with this. Srila Rupa Goswami also says that in many cases it's a continuation from last life. So life after life we continue. Then we come to spiritual life. Initially, it requires some faith. I'll tell two stories. One is a story from the Bhagavatam, from the 11th canto, where it is about a young girl of marriageable age who was at home, and then one day she was home alone. And two men, an elderly man and a young man, they came to the door. And when she saw that young man, she just thought, this is the one I've been waiting for, and now he's come to my door. What do I do now? She desired to impress him, and therefore she decided, and since the elder man was there, it was appropriate to receive them. And she arranged to cook a very nice meal. But as she was in the kitchen. She was cleaning the rice, which traditionally is done with a tray, and you put the rice on there and you throw it up in the air, and then stones or bits of dal or little pieces of wood, whatever is in that, mixed in with the rice, that comes to the surface, and then you have to take it out. So in a little wealthier family, that is done by a servant. No one does that himself. Only when you're poor you have to do it yourself. So she was doing it, and as she was doing it, the bangles on her arms, they were colliding and making a noise. So when that sound was made, then she thought, oh, if they hear this, they'll realize that I'm cleaning the rice myself, that we are poor. Then you'll never be interested in me. So she decided to break off all the bangles, except one. So she left only one on each arm, then there was no more noise. So here they said, we have so many interests, so many things, so many attachments. This degree, that diploma, aristocratic birth. Oh yes, and by the way, we live on the right part of town. And furthermore, you know, the car you have, the watch you have, the glasses, anything, all attributes that add to our identity. And all these things are ornaments. Yes. This is me. This is my glory. Look, I have all these attributes. Here's the list. Yeah. And it said the bangles need to be broken. One has to give up all this pride we take in all these material attributes. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Aishwarya Sutra Shibir Edamana Madapumam Nagartya Buddhatum Vaiktam Akinchana Gocharam. Kunti Devi makes the same point. She says you have to become exhausted materially. If you're not materially, if you're so attached to so many material things, then you cannot approach Krishna with sincere feeling. So these things are there. But even if we're not so sincere, then still, if we come in contact with a great devotee, then miracles can also happen. One time I was in Mayapur, and I was in the temple in Mayapur, and then there was a person who looked just like Salvador Dali. I don't know if you know Salvador Dali, but you know, mustache, little pointed beard, and also this man, he had a beret, you know, like that, leaning to one side. And as soon as I saw him, I thought, he looks like a painter, right? And then I saw this painter over the next few days in the temple. Whenever I'm in Mayapur, I try to do a serious sadhana and then rise early. So I was up quite early, and this man was already up. Right? It's like, wow, this is something. He's up really early. I mean, I was early, and he was more early than that. So, it's like, wow. Then I saw him chanting. I saw him in the temple. Whenever I would be there during the day, whenever I would come into the temple, he was always there for all the artis. After a while I realized he's attending all the artis. He's like obviously chanting a lot of rounds, obviously getting up very early, and he's attending all the artis, all of them. I mean, who can do that? Right? Can any of us do that? Well, maybe we could after the mercy we got, but it wouldn't be so easy. It would be quite an effort. So I was thinking, where did he? I got puzzled. Where did he get the strength? Where did he get the strength to do such a thing? To chant a huge number of rounds, to rise at an impossible hour to attend all the artis in the temple, all of them, throughout the day. I mean, Mongol Arti, Guru Puja is already intense. Everything, all of them. Where did he get that determination? So, one day I walked up to him and I said, "Who are you? Are you a demigod?" He said, "Maybe." I didn't get any closer. One cannot become very serious if there is no faith. One cannot really rise very early if there's only weak faith. It's faith that makes a difference.